Oh, either way, I don't.
Before
Yeah,
steam engines,
yeah.
dude. Come
Yes, dude,
on.
yes.
Either
So
way,
it's
he
before
does.
fire and coal.
Yeah,
Doesn't mean there's a
I think
steam
he's
Come on,
got you
bro.
engine.
there on that one.
No, their fire and coal existed before steam engines.
All right, everyone, welcome back to the channel where today we are going to be going over The Legend of Zelda, The Wind Waker. Uh, let's just get things going with Jared. Jared, what do you remember about this game? Or what did you remember about this game before we started playing it again?
I remember not playing it very much. I wasn't necessarily a GameCube guy. That was more of your thing. I remember going to, I think it was Babbage's. It might have been Babbage's at the time. When they showed like you'd have to get checked through the magazines to see what the game looked like because the internet wasn't what it is now. I remember people weren't happy the way it looked. I remember that people didn't like the graphics, the cell shaded thing. They were calling it Zelda. Remember? It was like cell
Well,
shaded
what was
Zelda.
your opinion on that? Where did you stand?
I didn't really like it either because I wanted because they kind of, if I'm not mistaken, I think they showed off like a concept of what it was to look like a GameCube, and it was Link fighting Ganon, and that's what they were saying it was going to look like. And then it went quiet for a while. Then all of a sudden, they came out with the cell shaded Zelda, and it was like on water, and I remember it was kind of weird, but I it wasn't necessarily my thing. That was more of your thing, so I didn't really play it much
Okay, so that's
originally.
what you remember. Brad,
Yeah,
you were even younger than Jared back then. What were you, like 9 years old?
I
What do
think
you remember?
I'm gonna start with how we got the GameCube, a story really quick. And
I don't remember that.
when before the
no,
console came out, they gave out like these paper pamphlets
no.
that were square and it was shaped like a
Oh,
GameCube.
sick.
And Richard would pretend like he was opening it and go like and like open it, but obviously it wasn't a real console.
I never did that.
I
No,
I do remember that.
you know what's funny? I did not remember that until Jared mentioned. I do remember them calling it like Zelda, and I think people being like, why are they going this route? Like this console has more power. Why are they like kind of dumbing down the graphics or whatever? I never was like I guess a diehard like, oh, I gotta play Zelda no matter what. So to me, I was like, I'll play it if we get it. Yeah, I mean, I don't really I think I was like more indifferent, like, whatever.
Yeah, so for me, I just remember being Zelda, being excited about it. I loved the look, but I'm into that, I guess, dorky stuff. I remember thinking it was sick, and being excited to play it. But also, it kind of fit with the to me the mood of the GameCube, anyways, right? Like the GameCube was purple. It had a handle, like so. When you make this game that's maybe a little bit more kiddier than even previous ones, I thought it was going to be dope. And that's kind of what I remember. I was hyped for it. But then I didn't remember too much, but I got a bad memory about a lot of this stuff. I don't even really remember playing it. So when we did turn this thing back on, I was in for a treat because I had no clue what was coming. You agree?
Yeah, I mean, I could guess I can just kind of touch on it. I'm like going out of focus here, so it's driving me insane. I turning it back on. Okay, now I played on my monitor, right, from a composite into an HDMI. So everything seemed really blurry. I don't know if that's the way the game was. Like not your character, but it almost felt like, like when you focus, kind of like the way my camera's doing right now, like where some things are like in focus and some things are just out. I feel like it took me out of it. And then the other thing I did not remember, I guess, getting into it when I was playing it is it takes a decent amount of time to get your own boat or your own little
Yeah.
like canoe, I guess, whatever the hell it is with the little dragon on it. That kind of threw me off. And I don't want to say it didn't want to make me keep playing it, but I was kind of just like, dude, when do I get my own ship so I can start
So Brad, how long
hitting the
how long
sea?
did you play? Was it a couple hours?
So you get the sail, and then I sailed around to the first island. And like I explored kind of like the first island around, but it took me a while to do the dungeon thing because I don't know if you guys had this issue, but the C stick for the camera, it didn't let you change the inversion of the X or the Y axis. So I would keep turning it the wrong
Yeah.
way, and I would find myself running straight, trying to do like subtle adjustments, and then like it would look the wrong way, and I keep falling off edges.
Hmm.
So
Yeah, I was
I
thinking the
played
same
probably four or
thing.
five
Yeah.
hours, but I didn't get very far. Yeah.
That literally did the same thing to me. I literally went into the options to see if I can change the C stick because it's backwards. You know, you
Yeah.
push it and go the opposite way. And I did the same thing. I would just run and not use the C stick, and hopefully he would just adjust himself because the C stick was confusing. And so it took me a little bit a while to get around the first part of the game because the C stick was so bad that I couldn't really figure out where I was going. And then I don't know if you guys convinced me or not because you guys text me about the blurriness, and I'm playing on original hardware with the CRT. It was blurry like off in the distance. So I don't know if you guys convinced me of that or it's really blurry. And it's not because I'm using different cables or anything. I'm using everything the way it was meant to be played, and it looked a little blurry. So I don't know if that's the style they went for or
So I don't remember it being blurry, and I also didn't play it on the original hardware. I played it on the Wii U, and it was crispy, like super clean. But again, with HDMI, uh, it looked a lot better than some of the pictures you guys were sending me. So I assumed, Brad, at least for yours, it was just because we had to do the janky plug to the HDMI, right? Instead of just going into a CRT. But Jared, you went right into a CRT, and it
yeah,
still was bad.
but it did take me about 30 minutes to get it to work because I guess the ports in the back of the TV are bad. So as soon as you have to kind of just put your I had to squeeze my hand, push my hand all the way behind and just touch the cable to get it to work. So the screen was black and white,
Oh
and
my
then it was like all like
gosh.
shaking. And then I called her dad, and he goes, "Well, it should just work." So I'm then banging the side of the TV. So I think could be my TV's bad as well. Then I finally got it to work, and then I had to pull my hand out slowly and not touch anything because if you touch the like get excited and kick the t like the hit the ground, it will go like messed up again. So it could have been my TV was really bad, but once it got going, like where Link was in the like the main part of the screen, he looked fine. But like in the distance, it was a little blurry. So I'm thinking that's the style they're going for because I don't know if my TV is gonna do that.
Yeah, it could have just been the graphical limitations, but it was just maybe, like I said, it's because it's a monitor, like 4K monitor, and I, I don't know, like I said, composite to HDMI. Maybe it was a cheap little plug or something, but
Yeah, that plug was 9.99, bro.
yeah, it was like, whoa, this is blurry. Not like Link himself or whatever you named yourself. I named myself Svard, Svard. Don't know why.
I
Okay.
just went with Link, dude.
But yeah,
Yeah, that's a good point though. I went with Link as well, and that's because when we were playing last week, Ocarina of Time, and I put Rich, it was just weird when they were calling me Rich, and I'm not him. So I definitely went with Link. I think most people probably go with Link. Let us know though in the comments. Do you put Link or do you put your name? Because
or
you put your
Svard.
name, your or
I
a
don't think
random
Link was
name.
smart.
I just selected random
You're gonna play
letters.
for 30 hours and they're gonna be calling you Zvard. Really?
Well,
Like
the thing
that's
is, it took me, and I didn't. It didn't just take me a while to get the TV to work. It took me a while to get the console to work because I put the disc in. It says cannot read disc. I'm like, are you serious? So I flipped it over and it was all scratched. I'm like, thanks, Rich, because you gave it to me for my birthday a couple years ago. I'm like, thanks,
yeah.
bro.
Well, I had two copies. I gave you the scratched
Oh,
one.
so I stuck it in there, had to put it all nice, and then I couldn't get the control to work. I'm like, are you serious? I was like, because I just bought the control from Teo. I'm like, did he just give me a broke control? And then I was like, oh, didn't plug it in all the way. Got to push it even further because I don't use the
Oh,
GameCube very
jeez.
much. I
Yeah.
thought it was in all the way.
Um,
But to my defense, I was trying not to make any subtle movements to get the TV to mess up. The TV was just part one. There's three parts getting this bad boy to
yeah,
work.
for a guy who likes to claim he has like all this stuff, he can't get his
I had some
GameCube to
Yeah.
janky
work
stuff.
over a
I had some
CRT.
janky. I had some. Well, the TV's janky and the game's a little scratch. That's not my fault. Everything
Real
else works
quick
fine.
before we go much further, my laugh is turning into the dad from Back to the Future when he's watching the TV
Oh
eating the
yeah,
peanut
George
brittle.
McFly.
It's pretty bad.
You're gonna have to put a
Um,
clip now. I don't even, I mean, I've seen the movie and I don't even remember the laugh.
oh, his laugh is obnoxious, but so let's get into the gameplay. That first little island you're on, right, where you're talking to your sister. Your sister comes up and says it's your birthday or whatever. I remembered almost all of that, like that first portion up until where she gets kidnapped and until you get like you meet the pirates and all that. I remembered almost that, not word for word, but like as we were going, I remembered it all. How about you guys?
I didn't remember
Uh,
any of it.
I don't remember too much of it, and I don't want to get too far ahead. A couple things that I noticed immediately is that little boy needs to figure out his congestion situation because he's
Oh,
just
Booger Man.
snotting over and over. And then the pirate that you meet, dude, he can't pull off a V-neck. He should not be wearing a V-neck. He's got such
So
a deep V.
I got issues with that pirate guy when when you save that girl and he comes running in. Why is his hands run over his head and he's doing like a Richard Simmons like exercise move and then runs towards you? I'm like, what is this guy's story? Like, who is this guy?
I don't know, but him V-neck skull cap, that's his name. That's what I
And
kept calling him. V-neck skull cap. Yeah, not my
you know
favorite
what?
character.
He kind of grows on you. I'm not gonna lie.
I mean, and that's what's this. So back to back weeks we're playing a Zelda game. They come up with some really creative ways to make people look different. Last week we had what was it, big lips and crazy eyebrows or something like that. Two different guys. Those the guys you
I
got?
think it
You
was
made a point.
mainly big lips and lateral movement guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, the left tackle, and then in this one, with V-neck or whatever you called
Deep
him,
deep V Skullcap is his name.
and then there was to your point, the kid with the that
Yeah.
was some powerful snot,
Just
dude,
like
like
down and up. And
thick.
he chases you. And it's like, dude, with like in the era that we're in now, like, man, you gotta lock that
Yeah,
kid up or
he
something.
he definitely had COVID. Put your mask on, kid. Um, so Jared, or Jared and Brad, you remembered it a little bit or not really at all
Nothing
up
at
until
all.
that
Because
point.
like I said, I've never played. I think I saw you play it when it first came out, what, 20 years ago? So I saw you play bits and pieces of it. Um, I remember like just the part where you're up when she wakes you up. That's literally it. Didn't remember anything else.
I've just the only thing I remember from the home island was the guy that trains you because I remember vividly when I would pick up the pots in his house and throw them at him, like even if he was backwards, like he would like block it. And I was like, oh man, that old guy has got some great reflexes. I remember that. It's the only thing I remember from the original island.
How about maybe some of the want to get into maybe the uniqueness of this Zelda or the similarities of this Zelda to other Zelda titles?
I feel
Yeah, so immediately the graphics you don't care. Once you start playing it, it's actually like a really cute, it sounds weird, a cute like art style, but it doesn't take you out of it because once you get into the boat and you're in the water, it's like I don't know. To me, it immediately became like up until that point, and probably still to this point, becomes like your favorite Zelda because although it feels different, it's the same formula, right? It's go to these dungeons, collect this piece, you know, do little side missions here and there. But it was like, how are you getting from point A to point B? And I just thought it was cool. And then the fact the story literally basically tells you the Ocarina of Time, right? In the very beginning, the whole thing that it plays out like, oh, there was a warrior, oh, about your age when he did X, Y, and Z. So it's kind of like you're filling the shoes of Link, which is why you shouldn't name your character Link because you're not Link. Unless I'm wrong. And at the very end of the game, they go,
Mm.
oh, it's you. So I don't know. I'm probably
Jared,
just
what you
put.
got?
I always thought it was the same link. I don't know. I
No,
don't know
did you
the
guys not
lore.
watch the story in the
I
beginning?
did, but I thought maybe it was going
Of
to tell you
course,
at
we
the
watched
end.
the story in the beginning, so
No, so
it's not the
every kid
same.
puts on that green tunic when they get to the same age to honor, and they only wear it for one day, to honor Link from Ocarina of Time, like what he did to defeat Ganondorf.
Well, as soon as you
Yeah.
turn it on, I mean, the music just kicks in. And I'm like,
Oh
Here
God,
it
here
is.
he
okay,
goes
okay.
again.
No, I'm saying because it's just like similar, like you said, similar. It's similar, but it's a little different. Like they have the main theme, but it's like a Sky or Irish like take. It's a
Mhm.
little different.
It's like some
So it
bagpipes in it or
yeah,
something
it
a little
does.
bit.
And I
Yeah.
mean, it's
Bet you
the
like
best part of
bagpipes.
it. Jesus,
What happened there?
you said you like
I don't know.
bagpipes.
What
No,
about
but
what did you guys think like in regards to that first section where it's kind of like you don't have a weapon and you have to kind
Hmm.
of be stealthy? I know unless it's a game that's designed like where I have a gun and there are some stealth missions or whatever, not a big fan of stealth sections in games that really shouldn't have it.
yeah, I'm not a big fan of it
Yeah.
either.
So before when that level like starts, when I hear almost you almost hear like from Ocarina of Time, listen, right? Like you get
Mhm.
that pay attention, and then correct me if I'm wrong. That's just like the pirate girl that can communicate to
Yeah,
you through like a crystal.
it's like a
So it
shard or
was
something. Yeah.
yeah, it was like a unique way of having Navi or whatever in this game, but not, I don't know. I don't even know how to say it really, but I thought that was kind of cool and unique to where it wasn't just this fairy that was telling you something. It was actually the pirate girl. So and she has some helpful hints and things. So I thought that was kind of cool to where again it's unique but similar to the old ones. So they were really creative on how they can make this a Zelda game, even though you're like going from island to island and on a boat in the water with pirates. And I thought that was cool. When it comes to that stealthy part, um, and I don't remember because again I didn't play it on GameCube. When you go to get those dudes and like she tells you to block, right, with
A
to make
shield.
them drop their weapon, I never did that. I just saw a pot with like three sticks in it, and I just grabbed the stick and beat the daylights out of the guy. Is that what you guys did, or?
Well, the problem is if you do
What's a
that,
sneak, dude?
I noticed that no one know when you get the guys to turn the spotlights off.
Oh,
Um, if you do that, if you block and you take his weapon, right? You could just beat him up and he can't defend himself. If you break the pot and let's say he drops his weapon, he will run over to one of the ones on the ground and pick one up. So it's like
Yeah,
if
I
you
just hit him like 4 times and he died, and then that
yeah, I
purple
felt like
mist
the
came.
combat was a little too easy, which has kind of always been my thing in Zelda games. Is like they don't really have like a difficulty because you guys know me. I put everything on the hardest difficulty and then put myself in misery because I can't beat it, and I'm just like, well, whatever. I'm playing on a harder difficulty.
And then you'll spit on the
I'm
TV.
a
Oh
no, that
man,
was you. That
that
was
was
you. You
you.
were probably
What
like
game was that, Brad? Remember what game that was?
was that like SSX
It
Racing
was
or
SSX.
something? Is
Yeah.
this the
I was gonna
snowboarding
say
game?
Driver. I
No, it's
thought it was
SSX,
Driver.
and he
Remember
got
that?
The
Oh
beat.
my
intro.
God.
That's
He
a
got
whole other
beat.
thing. We could do a video on that, like
Yeah.
the games that irritated us the most, because I probably have a million of them. There's another thing that happens. First off, that bird, right, when he comes swooping in, and he drops the girl. The first thing I thought is I'm just like, oh, this girl, she's splat on the ground. But then I was like, oh no, it's a Zelda game. How are they gonna do this? And they had her hanging from her shirt. It's like, okay, that's gonna, yeah, that branch is gonna control the fall. But then the branch broke immediately afterwards. Like, whatever, Nintendo. Zelda
I
should, or excuse me, Svard in my case should have walked in there and then just been like, "Oh my gosh!" Just obliterated on the floor. Story over. Dee doo 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 dee doo.
well, I
That's the
the
credits.
the thing is, I like the fact that when you save her and she's not grateful at all, and you go to your back, they're going to their ship, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we're not. What? Why is this our problem?" And that bird lays into them.
Yeah,
You know what
who
I'm talking
is that bird?
about?
Is
That
he
I
just like a
like that bird.
Yeah.
postman?
He's the post. I like him. He pretty much just blasted them and
Who's the
made pretty much
postman?
made him feel guilty. Yeah, made him feel guilty. Like he just roasted them. They just go, all
Yeah.
right.
Oh,
Well,
the
speaking of, I know
shopkeeper.
we're
How you guys
yeah,
feel
we're
about that
kind of jumping all
shopkeeper?
over the place. Shop, but I'm talking about on the boat
Yeah,
when
Yeah.
you have to go down there and there's like some little dude who thinks he's gangster and like, oh yeah, you're not gonna be able to do this, dude. I did it on like the second try, bro. You know what I
second
mean?
You
try, not
sh
the first try.
Yeah,
you
I was
showed
gonna
him.
lie and say I did it the first time, but I didn't.
Right.
But I was playing on the Wii U, so and I didn't I don't have like a Wii U Pro controller, so I was using the big one. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
With the screen on it. Like it's weird, you know what I mean? But that's why it took me 2 tries.
Took
But
me like
yeah, I thought it
seven
was
because
dope.
like the C stick, I just
Yeah.
turned the wrong way and then I jump and miss the lamp, and the entire time I know he was up there cackling at me like whatever that guy's name
And
was,
then
Max or something.
That C sticker.
uh,
Yeah, that's bad.
yeah. See, and that's interesting to hear because playing it on the Wii U. Oh my God, they just it must have been so many upgrades that they did because
So
I had no issues.
when you're playing the Wii U or you're using the other stick, is it like a regular game where you turn it and it goes the
It
same
felt
way?
like it, yeah. And then I would hit ZR or ZR, whatever that button is.
Don't say
Uh,
that, dude.
Zed.
Don't say that.
so you can like like aim or whatever, like pick your direction.
Yeah.
So
Hmm.
whenever I wasn't straight, I would just hit that, and it
Honestly,
kind of
yeah.
fixed a lot of the
Yeah,
issues.
I did struggle in the very beginning, and we talked about this with your issues on the for Ocarina of Time on the Switch, how it had the two sticks. Is I had an issue for maybe like the first couple minutes is using the C stick as if it was like another joystick and realize I'm just moving the camera around just because of modern games. But that's something you can't fault the game. It's just, from its time or whatever. What did you guys think about like the sailing around? Like, did you like that? Did you think it was better than it was? Obviously, we're a little jaded now because you have games like Sea of Thieves, which, might have the best water effects like ever. Um, Personally, I felt like it held up. I don't know how you guys feel.
Well, for
Yes.
me, I didn't do a ton of sailing. Um, I think that's one of the big perks of the Wii U version is they fixed a lot of how you don't have to necessarily take, at least from what I've read. I didn't sail that much, so I don't know. I'll have to look it up for sure. But you're not needing to like sail for 30 minutes to get where you're going. But nonetheless, I didn't sail too much because I beat that first island after where you have to get the you have to let Tingle, your best friend Tingle. I know you like
Ugh.
Tingle. Where you have to get him out of jail and then you go and get the thing or whatever and you get your what is it? He's a boat without a sail. Like first off, you're not a boat, bro, without a sail.
What
Okay?
happened to a
That's the
sale?
first thing. I don't know. Maybe the bad guy, maybe that Birdman took it. I don't know. I don't know. But we're going all over the place. Let's get back to the place where we're trying to sneak and everything.
Yeah.
And when you finally get your sword, and it says like hero sword or whatever, and like at this point, I know I can take on this little weasel dude that's at the gate easy because I got a sword, not a stick. But then you beat him up and you go in there and you see your sister along with a couple other kids. So these dudes are doing some serious trafficking of children. And then, boom, Big Bird comes and grabs you again, and you're like, really, dude? Like, I made it all the way up here for this? And then who do you see, dude? Who do you see?
System of a Down lover.
100%, dude. And you don't even see his whole body. You don't see his whole face. You don't see all that. But man, when I saw that, I'm not going to say it gave me goosebumps because it didn't. That'd be a little weird if it did. But I was like, dude, now it's a party. Now this game is really going. And then you wake up in the freaking boat
Yeah,
with no sail.
for me, I saw like a silhouette. It was very blurry. So, no, actually, Rich, I have a question. I know this is not the island you're talking about, but you mentioned Tingle. Jared, I don't know if you got to Tingle. I don't remember how long you said you played. When you get to Tingle, he says if you need help, plug your Game Boy Advance into the second controller spot, and I'll give you tips. Did it do that on the Wii U, or did they just axe that from it altogether?
No, so on the Wii U it said like if you connect to like the Miiverse or whatever it's called, connect online, then you can get some hints or whatever. But
Nintendo always
I
selling
just
something extra.
kind of just skipped through it. But when I saw Tingle though, I remember thinking, man, this guy's like a douche. Like,
He's oddly
uh,
happy.
So what kind of
yeah.
tips do you think he gives you if you plug in the Game Boy? What is he gonna do?
He
Does
probably
anybody
says,
know?
go to this website and purchase this from Nintendo.com, and I will help you
No,
more.
no, dude.
They used to have a Nintendo hotline back in
Yeah.
Okay,
the
that was
day.
back when we needed it. We just talked last week how you can't beat these games without going on the internet anymore or having a freaking player's guide. So before both of those, Nintendo was genius and said, "Hey, call this 800 number and we'll help you out, brother, because we know you're lost."
It is
Especially in that
true.
original Zelda, you were
It's true
lost.
though. It is true because I got lost in the very beginning. I'm not gonna lie to you. I could
Of
not even
what
find what to
game?
do. So this one, I got
Oh,
lost. Didn't even know
you had
where
to
to go.
talk to your mom and then go
Yeah,
back
I
to your
talked to the mom and
sister.
she goes, and then I
Doesn't she
knew,
say go talk to
yeah, and then I
grandma?
did,
Like,
and then it's like go up, and then you see the girl fall. She's like, go up there. I'm like, I'm going up there. I'm like, I can't get past these trees. I'm like, where do I get a sword? So I'm running around and I'm like, where do I go? And I just went in every random house, and then I finally found the old man. That took me like 35 minutes.
Yeah.
yeah. I think it didn't take me that long, but I remembered a lot of it. So it was actually pretty quick for me. But again, I'm a Zelda guy. Jared, you're not.
Yeah, and I don't mind the option of them having fast travel, and obviously the original one has some fast travel as well. It's not like that doesn't have anything. Like obviously you get the thing where you're like a composer, right? To like you get the Wind Waker. But I don't know. I always felt like when I was younger playing this, and now you got to remember when I was playing this, I was probably a couple years younger than you guys. So for me, my little brain was probably like, this is so cool. But I remember it being like peaceful, like sailing from one spot to the next, like, and it just a more felt like a
The,
more grandiose adventure, and I was along for the
Jeez.
ride.
uh-huh.
And
Did you write that down? Where you're like, I'm going to
no,
use
I
this
did
one
not.
today?
But I remember doing that, and even when I did start sailing, I remember looking at like the map and going, "This is not big at all." Like I do remember having some complaints playing it the first time around and going like, "Oh my gosh, I got to sail here." And now I looked at it, I'm like, this map is tiny. Like, what am I complaining about? Maybe that's because of open world games now and games like Fallout or Starfield or anything that PlayStation puts out that's any good that has that size.
Did you make a map, Brad? Do you remember where to go?
No, no, we did that
No.
in Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah, I did Pirates of the
Yeah,
Caribbean.
yeah, that was a. I am a great cartographer.
Yeah,
I can
we
draw
learned a
you a
lot from
map.
you.
Yep.
Yeah, see,
Um,
I like the sailing. I mean, I like the pirate themed stuff, like video games and stuff, because one of my favorite games is Pirates of the Caribbean. That game is it was rated very low, but I love the sailing part. Sea of Thieves, I love how you sail. And like he says, it's really peaceful till, a pirate tries to blow you away. What is that?
That's Benjamin coming
um,
in.
no, but one of the things I was going to bring up to you guys was, do you think they decided to go cell shaded or whatever you call it because they wanted to do water and water effects in previous games? Like you either see through it or it's just this blurry mess, right? Like in the Ocarina of Time when you're in the water, you can go swim or whatever and you get your coins. But imagine this game and trying to have good looking water that wasn't cell shaded. Probably pretty difficult. Game would look ugly. Do you think that was the main reason why they went with that design?
Yeah,
I think,
absolutely. I
yeah.
think it's got to be graphical limitations, and like you said, with think about like Super Mario, or even Ocarina of Time, where it's like you go in the water because there's a point, like you're going to the bottom. In this game, you're not going to the bottom of the ocean, right? It's just water to show you like, hey, you're traversing from point A to point B, where they couldn't have it clear. So if they have it, like you said, I guess if they have it look the way it does and then try to make the rest of the game look more realistic, it might be kind of a sight for sore eyes.
Yeah, definitely.
I got a bunch
Who
of
says
phrases today.
aren't you a sight for sore eyes?
I
Who
don't,
says that? Where does
I
that come
don't,
from?
no, I don't
I
know.
think it's like an
Was it
old
from a
timey.
movie?
No, I remember back in the day we used to
Aren't
go to
you a
like
sight for sore eyes?
we used
I
to go to like
mean,
Save On or CVS and they had like a Halloween thing and we'd be
Yeah, I
like,
do
"Are
remember
you
that.
a sight for sore eyes?"
oh,
Yeah, but
maybe that's what I remember it from.
no,
Maybe.
Jared, what's your take? Why do you think they did the water effects like that, or
I
why
think
they
it's two
went cell
reasons. I think
shading?
A, it's partially they had limitations compared to like they weren't on it didn't have the same powers like an Xbox. So they had limitations, obviously. And B, it's Nintendo does their own thing, man. They always come up with something
Yeah,
unique
Yeah,
that
they
they
nobody's
zig when
played
everyone
zig, but
else
before.
everyone
zags,
else,
right?
yeah. Oh,
I got it. I got it.
So
Um, but Jared, so that being said, when you turned this one on and played it after you banged your TV 6 times and like whatever you had to do to get the disc to work, and you started playing it, what did you think about the graphics? Did you think, I mean, here we are 20 years later, whatever it's been, oh, they made the right decision, or it's kind of what I remember.
well, it's hard to judge it now because back then that was very controversial to make graphics like that. Nowadays, there's so many indie games and all these games that use that type of thing. So it's hard to judge it knowing what we know now looking back. But as soon as I turned it on, I saw the graphics. I'm like, this looks great. Like this looks great. I liked it from the beginning. I didn't see what would, like I said, looking back, it's not controversial now, knowing what we know and the game's rated so high, but I liked it from the beginning. I thought it was a good change of pace because you made they made Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask and they were identical graphics and everything. Even I think Link did a couple different more animations when he jumped in Majora's Mask, but primarily it was the same game engine, mechanics, and everything. This is a complete departure from it, so it gave it kind of like a fresh take on a familiar franchise. So I liked it. I thought it was great.
How about you, Brad? You feel the same?
yeah, no, I think with the exception of like I mentioned already, and I don't want to beat a dead horse, the blurriness that I was dealing with from trying to upscale it, I guess. No, I mean, I think the graphics work perfectly for what the GameCube kind of provided. And I think it's like I said, it's different enough but it's the same formula. So it's basically like if they like Jared mentioned Majora's Mask, a lot of people probably looked at it, and if they didn't know that it was like a kind of like a time travel, you got lived the same 3 days. A lot of people looked at it and they're just like, why am I going to play the same game again? Right. So I feel like this was a good way of going, hey, it's still going to be dungeon based. It's still going to be, traveling, across different lands. How do we change that landscape up? Let's do water. Let's make it look a little more kid friendly. Like you said, the GameCube is purple, at least the original one. So I think it was a great idea by them, and hats off to them.
Mm, nice haircut. Um,
Thank you, man.
yeah, I think it for me. Again, I played it on the Wii U, so it looked as good as anything looks on the Switch. I was super impressed.
Well, the Switch is
And I think
trash.
Look at all the games he has behind him, Brad.
anyway, no, but my point is like for even Wii U, which maybe the Switch is just as powerful as, or the Wii U is just as powerful as the Switch. I'm not here to argue that. I don't really know the ins and outs of all of it, but when you see some of these HD remakes and some of these things, you're even what's the one that came out for Switch? It was Skyward Sword or something. Is that the one that they
Yeah,
redid?
yeah.
Um, I looked at that and I'm like, okay, it looks better, but like I don't know if it's just because this one, the way it was made, or and the design they used, it just looks so good on the Wii U, like so good, so good. And I think that's why it holds such a special place for me because it's so unique. The other one that they made on the Switch that was from the Game Boy or whatever, what was that one? Link's Awakening, I think it is.
Link's Awakening, yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Again, that's similar, bright colors. Again, one of my favorites. The way these are made, they just hold up so well.
They
It's
do.
hard to find anything wrong with them. Whereas you go back and look at Skyward Sword and some of those other ones, and they're just they looked ugly then, and they still kind of look ugly.
What about the CDI Zelda games? What about those?
Excuse.
Jeez
What
Louise.
was that?
The CDI Zelda games? What
Oh
about
yeah,
those?
those are dude, those are great. Those might make my Mount Rushmore.
Oh, yeah. We should
Okay,
do a
okay.
Mount
No,
Rushmore video later
yeah.
on.
If you guys will indulge me, this will be the inaugural segment I'm gonna do every video, and it's called Conspiracy Time. And I have a conspiracy in this game. You guys want to hear it?
I mean, you dedicated the last 20 seconds to telling us this is a new segment, so I'm definitely
Yeah,
here to hear
so
it.
Okay.
conspiracy time. So anyways, when you have to go buy the sale, there's a shopkeeper who's claiming his business is going under, okay? He says, "Oh, I just need someone to like loan me some rupees." So you have to loan him 80 rupees. You loan him 80 rupees and he goes, "I have a gift for you." He gives you a flag. I think your little ship and that shopkeeper are in cahoots and they just stole 80 rupees out of you. He let him take his sail and said, "Find the closest schmuck around that'll pay." And now this guy just got me to invest. They're in it together.
Yeah, I didn't even maybe I just zoomed through what he was saying. I don't First off, doesn't he say something like my friend's in prison? He
First,
tells
just
you
look,
that
yeah, looking at his
he tells you that
appearance,
like
he would
his
look haggard and look like he was
why is
up to
he
no good.
wearing also he's wearing like stuff you'd see like people in Alaska wear, like the big old
Like
jacket
an
over his
Eskimo.
head. Yeah,
Yeah.
like Eskimo man. But I thought he said something about like, oh, my friend's in jail. Can you help him? Whatever. Then you go and help him, and then Tingle's like, oh, cool, whatever. He runs away. Then you go and tell Eskimo man, I saved him. He goes, oh, you did? Well, normally I'm gonna give you something that costs 200, but I'll give it to you for 80. Is that not the story?
Well, so I saved Tingle before ever meeting the guy,
Tingle.
Tinkle.
but
It's not Tinkle,
Tingle.
dude.
But hey, either way, that's my conspiracy. I
So you
think they're
think
in
Tingle's
cahoots.
in
Yeah.
it too? Tingle's
Oh,
in
of
on it
course,
too?
because what was he trying to do? He was trying to sell you a Game Boy Advance or get on the Me U or whatever it is. Dude, it's a big scam. It's a
Mm.
But what would
So
the
conspiracy.
now all
boat?
of
But
Nintendo's in
what
on
would
it.
the boat get out of this? He's a boat. He's gonna be with you the rest of the game.
Oh
What's
no,
he getting out
that
of
so
it?
that boat was formerly owned by that shopkeeper.
Yeah, but what
See,
is he
now you're
getting?
you're starting to figure out the conspiracy time.
No, everyone like first off, this conspiracy would have been going on for 20 years and no one's outed it yet. There's too many people involved.
Yeah,
Hey, not everyone is a lion. Some of us are sheep. Okay.
Here's a serious question though. Like Boatman, whatever his name is, like the he has like that almost that is that Chinese with the big dragon, the red
Yeah.
dragons.
yeah.
He has that
Mhm.
look to it. But Boatman, how did he get you to that island if he doesn't have a sail? Did he just blow there? Did he
Well,
tell
yeah. I
you?
mean, you can if you notice when you
Oh.
take your sail off while you're sailing, they have like the on GameCube, it's the R button. It says cruise. So I'm assuming he's secretly maybe the second
Think he has a motor?
conspiracy. He might have a motor this
Okay.
entire time.
Before motors were made,
Oh, there was motors made.
this is supposed to be like what? What year do you think this is?
I don't
Way
know.
I don't think
before.
it's before motors were
You think
I
made
maybe
think
though.
so.
do you
Did
think
you see
maybe
a
he's a
motor
time
anywhere?
traveler?
Did you see a motor anywhere?
Uh, I
Steam
don't know.
engine, possibly?
Way
Yeah,
before steam engine, bro.
maybe. Oh, either way, I don't.
Before
Yeah.
steam engines,
No.
dude. Come
Yes, dude.
on.
Yes.
Either
So
way,
it's
he
before
does.
fire and coal.
Yeah,
Doesn't mean there's a
I think
steam
he's
Come on.
got you
engine.
there on that one.
No, their fire and coal existed before steam engines.
Steam powered anything. Yeah. Anyways, oh, I do have one other thing that I'll point out, and Rich, hopefully you can get this to line up. I mean,
Don't pick something that's 12 hours into the
no,
game
no,
that
this
I need
is
to go
pretty
find.
close in. Is when you first see Ganon, right? And
Mm.
then it does like this story, and it shows like him like in this full on like trench coat, but then he's surrounded by fire. And the entire time I just kept thinking to myself, like, dude, what a hazard. Like, how is he not engulfed in flames right now? Like, I don't know if maybe the fire was just supposed to like it wasn't really there, or it was just supposed to be like, oh yeah, look at it, he's ominous. We're gonna add fire to this, but he was like, he was just completely
I mean, it
not
was obviously a flame
should not have been
retardant
working.
jacket.
There's no way in this day and age, dude. They don't even have steam engines yet.
I know.
Dude, I'm telling you, like that conspiracy I'll rate your conspiracy, okay? From a 1 to 10, that thing's a 1, bro. That
Yeah,
is
that's pretty
that's
bad.
so loose.
Yep,
So loose. You have no facts to support it
None.
at all.
you don't need
Just
facts.
conjecture. I don't even know
That's
if
what a
conjecture is the right
conspiracy
word.
is.
No, but
Either
there's
way.
usually like a little bit of some breadcrumbs, right? There's not even like one breadcrumb. No
Brad's
kernel of
Brad, to
truth.
your defense, you're just asking questions, right?
Yeah, I'm just
Just
asking questions. I'm just asking the questions. That's my Jesse
Um, oh, I thought
body.
you were trying to do Alex Jones.
no.
No, you don't even want to mention Alex Jones in this. We'll probably get flagged.
Okay, so what do we want to let's maybe rate this one. What did we do last week, Jared? Did we go with you first? Are
With
we
me
done with
first.
talking about everything that we noticed, or do we have anything else?
I think
I
we're
think
good.
everything else after that's kind of the same stuff over and
Yeah.
over.
Okay, so Jared, we'll start with you again this week. Is this game what you would call Smack certified? So let me see how much it goes for. Now, when we're purchasing it, you only have a GameCube, so you have to buy a GameCube version. And I'll look
Yeah.
at the Wii U version because I have both, but you know,
And how's bragging about it?
Brad has a GameCube.
Oh, okay.
I already got a
Yeah.
copy.
So Jared, is this game to you Smack certified?
Well, you didn't tell me the price.
Well, just start talking about stuff and I'll come
Yeah.
with I don't have it
Oh,
yet.
Yeah, man. He's
dude,
doing this
it's
on
a
the fly.
quick Google search. Jeez.
I'm trying.
Okay, I know you guys are gonna laugh, but as soon as I turn it on and heard that music going, it gets you jacked. It's like, all
It
right,
does.
I'm ready to. And like I said, the music's familiar, but it changed just enough to be its own thing. So you turn that on, the story goes. It does take a little bit long to get through the story, because they don't really talk. It's just words, it's text. So that's a little bit of a gripe. But as soon as you turn it on and you see Link and she goes, "Oh, you were still sleeping, whatever. Like you're still tired, whatever." You get the graphics and then you start going. You get the atmosphere, of that little island. You get all the people around and subtly, like Brad said in the past, they don't hold your hand, but they give you enough to help you learn how to play. Like you're walking and the guy's like, "Oh, push this button to the old guy on the top," and you'll lock into him. And the guy teaches you how to sneak. They give you just enough to show you, but not literally hold your hand. So I like that whole part. As soon as you get the sword, the original sword, you start cutting the grass, you feel like the power. You're like, okay, I'm ready to take Ganon right now. Like, where is this chump? I'll take him right now. Even though we don't know he
Okay.
exists at this point, I'm taking him. Like, it gives you that power, it gives you excitement. I disagree when it comes to Brad. I think the combat's easy, but it's satisfying. When you kill those first guys and those purple things come out, the purple smoke comes out. It's like, okay, they can't make blood, but they made it a great artistic way to show that they're gone, dude. They ain't coming back. Like you just vaporized you killed his dreams, his future dreams, whatever, and his family. If he has family, they're gonna be upset. You just destroyed all that. So that's being said, this is not one of the greatest games ever created. This top five. This game is fantastic. I cannot believe
Top
I've not
top five. Hang on, hang on.
all
This
time.
game is one of the best of all time?
Yeah, it's not just the greatest game. I meant to say it's not just the greatest GameCube game. It's probably one of the greatest games ever created. Definitely
Oh,
top
okay.
five. I cannot believe I haven't played this game. I mean, I want to go play it right now.
Oh.
I got stuff to do after this.
You got to
I'm a
go
very busy
smack the
guy.
TV just to get it to work.
Yeah, I gotta put time to the
Make sure the
side.
discs
Yeah,
works.
I gotta put time. That's on you, dude. You gave it to me. I gotta put enough time to the side to get that TV working because it doesn't always work. It takes a while. But this is definitely a game that,
So it's 65 bucks
Ooh.
complete in box.
mhm. Dude,
So
I
knowing
spent
that now,
400 on Earthbound, but $65 is nothing
oh
for a
my
game of
God, this
this.
guy always has to come off so
Yeah.
smug.
Guys
Yeah,
made of
well,
money, I guess.
I'll buy it. Might as well.
$65, no big
Yeah,
deal.
this be Italian mob guy. What was that?
Um, so
I
Jared,
would definitely.
before we go,
Yeah.
Brad, before we go to you, I think Jared, you said it's Mac certified. Do you remember the TV that me and
Oh,
David
I
I
do.
got
was.
for
Oh
you?
my goodness.
It was so old, you had to like turn it on for like 20, it needed to heat up, needed to warm up.
Yep. Yep. And it was plugged into a like an outlet that for some reason when the house is wired, like if you flip the switch, it would turn it off. And if you flip that switch, all that time of warming up was gone. So I would get upset when people first off, I didn't want the damn TV. It just appeared. Uh but yeah, like someone would walk in and flip the switch, and I'm like, dude, you do not realize like now if I go to work, I basically got to turn this thing on so it's warmed up tonight so I can watch Friends on UPN or whatever channel it was on.
Do you remember
Um
where we got it from, Rich? Like
Well,
how we
yeah,
got
but
it?
you know when they say like it's too good to be true?
Yeah.
She was a good size TV. Okay, and it said
oh,
works and it
Yeah.
said free. So
Yeah.
we struggled. These
Yeah.
old TVs were
I
heavy. Wasn't it
remember.
wooden on the outside or
Yes.
fake
So
yep,
wood?
it was David, our cousin, had a Lexus. Remember? And
Yep.
he were like, dude, we got to get the TV. And it was staying there for a couple of days. And he was down with us for like the summer for some reason. And we kept driving by it and it was sitting there. And you're like, dude, it's still there. And you're like, let's get it. And David the whole time was bitching, like, oh my God, I cannot believe him. Dude, the whole time he was just bitching as you two, because I wasn't lifting it. You two are struggling in the back seat of his car. Like he's bitching the whole time.
You know what I like to think
Put it in
about it,
Brad's
dude?
room. Put it in Brad's room. I don't know. I
I think
think you
verbatim I
secretly,
said, "What the hell is
yeah,
that?"
I think you really wanted Brad to not like it because I think you kind of wanted him to be like, dude, seriously, now I'm stuck with this. I don't think you wanted him to do it as a good gesture. I think you just wanted to like punk him. So then
No,
we
the best,
struggled to
dude, the
put it in
best
Brad's
part.
room, turned it on, and like, oh crap, this thing doesn't work. You have to smack it to get it warm. Like, oh man, this is not as good as we thought it was. But like, it's in the house now. Things heavy. We're not getting rid of it. And then Brad comes home from school, the only one that went to school like he's supposed to,
I think it was
comes
football
home.
practice or something.
Yeah, comes
Yeah.
home and he goes like, what is this? Wasn't happy. Like he got screwed on the deal. I don't know what happened to that TV.
I know what happened to it. I don't
Okay,
know.
Brad. Jared said Smack certified, 65 bucks. That's a GameCube edition. On Wii U, well, you'd be buying GameCube anyway, so 65 bucks, Brad. Is it Smack certified?
So here's what I would say. I said it last week. You made a short of it on the channel. Wind Waker, in my opinion, is only behind Ocarina of Time, and it's only behind Ocarina of Time just because Ocarina was the first 3D, I guess you can say, like, or like kind of ushering in the new generation. Um, so Wind Waker, it's absolutely Smack certified. I think it's a perfect game, like where if you're not a huge um, Zelda person, it tells you the story in the beginning. You are not Link. You are whatever you want to name your character. In my scenario, Svard. Yeah, I mean, sounds great. The characters, I am coming fresh off watching Deadpool, Wolverine, and like the Loki series. So when they turned into like purple dust, I just kept thinking like they got pruned into the void. If you get the
Hmm.
reference, you do. If you don't,
I have
whatever.
no idea what you're talking about.
Um, and yeah, like it is kind of weird that they just like turn into like I'm starting to think like maybe they're like not even real. Like maybe they're
Oh, another
conspiracy
conspiracy
time.
theory.
God.
Like maybe they're just like conjured up like like demons or something because they do just turn into powder or like smoke, purple misty smoke or whatever. But yeah, no, definitely it's a great game. Go grab it if you haven't played it. Like Jared said, he couldn't believe that he hadn't played this. Fantastic game. Go get it.
So before I get into revealing how I feel about it, I did want to say it is Link because every time you go and buy an amiibo and it looks like this cartoon version, it still says Link, Wind
What do
Waker
you think
Link.
it's gonna say?
So it's
Insert
Link.
name here. Like, come on.
It's not going to say Svard, that's for sure.
Yeah. Well, it
So
depends.
it's Link. So another quick question for you. You guys both agree that for 65 bucks, it's worth it, right?
Yeah.
How about is it good enough to go and spend, buco dollars on like the top of the line version? So there's a version for the Wii U which comes with an amiibo, and I'll put it on the screen here. That one goes for like 300 bucks. Is it worth 300? Would you buy it that version because you love this game so much?
No, because that means I
No.
have to get a damn Wii U, and I don't want a Wii
Hmm.
U.
Okay.
Look at if you're a collector, absolutely, it's definitely a good value. But if you're just like a casual gamer, like I mean, no, you're not gonna spend $300 when you can buy a $65 version of it, and then you're playing on a Wii U anyways. Like, not
Well, I mean,
knocking
there's
the
there's a
Wii U,
more
but
expensive one for
yeah,
the GameCube too. There's a more expensive one for the GameCube too. It's the Zelda with the Metroid. So it's Legend of Zelda, the Wind Waker, and Metroid Prime in the same case. I haven't seen that one, but that one complete in box goes for 750.
That's the one I
But
have.
you get two games there.
That's the one I have.
No, you don't.
Yes,
I
I
promise you
do.
don't have it.
I know.
I was gonna say this
You
guy's
would, you
dropping
would,
300 on
you would be like, dude,
Mother or
you
whatever.
would have wanted me to
I
mother
just
technically.
froze because he was so stupid.
Yeah,
He
you
really thought
would,
he had that.
you
You really
really,
thought you had. You really thought it. That's the point. You weren't trying to roast us. You thought it.
yeah, because I
He
can't
might
see
have.
what case I have.
Idiot. Anyway, okay, so we agree. You guys agree it's
What
worth
about you?
65 bucks,
You
but
didn't
not
tell us what
800.
you thought.
So I agree it's Smack certified. The game itself is really, really good. I almost wish I didn't go back and play it because I remember it being better than, at least so far, than what I've played. Last week I argued Wind Waker was probably it. I definitely put it on my Mount Rushmore still, but it's probably four. I think Ocarina of Time is better if we're comparing the two. And I played them back to back here in back to back weeks. And Ocarina of Time, I can't stop thinking about it, guys. I go to sleep thinking about that game. Whereas with Wind Waker, I've played it for its 4-ish hours or something so far, and it looks beautiful, looks great, probably the best looking Zelda game ever. But it's missing something, and I don't know what it is, but I thoroughly enjoyed Ocarina of Time a heck of a lot more, even though it's uglier than Wind Waker. But still, Smack certified for 65 bucks. I dropped that in a heartbeat. In fact, we have, right? So
Yeah, and that was probably the price at launch, so that shows you it hasn't depreciated, or I guess some things go up because of nostalgia. I'll just shut up.
yeah,
I think at launch it was 50, wasn't it?
I don't remember.
Plus tax.
I mean, games nowadays are 69.99. This is cheaper than a new game.
I have not bought a
And
new game. I'm not spending $70 on anything.
you're
That's
you're the
new.
same guy, I
New
promise you.
game. New game. I'm not spending
New
$70 on
game
a
what?
new game.
Oh,
On a
he
brand new
won't
game,
spend
like the new
70 on
games
a
that are
new
out. I'm not
game.
spending $70 on a brand new game.
How much was 2K?
I didn't buy 2K.
How much was 2K?
Which one?
NBA.
You see how he went from I didn't buy it to which one?
Which
Guys,
2K?
full of malarkey.
There's like so many 2Ks. Which 2K?
The one that was 70, you bought it the last time. And
No, I
remember
spent a
Sean bought the one for
I
70 and
bought
then
the
had to buy the one
$100
for
one.
100 because
Thank you
he's
very much. Because it
what
had
happened?
Kobe on it. I spent 100 because I had Kobe on it. But if it didn't have Kobe
Okay.
on it, I wouldn't have spent $100.
Collector's
Okay. Either
edition.
way, I got the same one with Kobe on it months later
Yeah, but
for like 20
your
bucks.
my player was way behind everybody else's.
I don't have a my player. I
We're
don't live
playing
in fantasy
we're
land.
dropping
I live in
45 and
reality,
we're
okay?
dropping 45 a piece
As
in
you
the
have all
wreck.
these toys behind you.
Oh man. All right, so that does it for the Wind Waker portion. What do you guys want to do next week? What game? I know we've talked about a couple things here on the side. Jared looks like he has some notes.
No, I'm getting my
Uh,
paper ready
oh, you're
because
gonna get your pen ready to write down again like last week so you
Oh,
don't
so
forget.
the way he
I'm
slid that
think
out. So
I'm
smooth.
the pen. Yeah, it has a nice little latch here. But a cheap pen though. It's like a
A
sorry, what
Bic?
is crap. Yeah, it's a big
A Bic.
it's a
I have
really
an
bad
idea
pen.
for next week. Now, this logistically may be difficult because I don't think any of us have it.
Can I
Mm.
guess?
Yeah,
Can I guess?
sure.
Half-Life?
Yeah, so Richard clearly already told you. Yeah, I was thinking Half-Life, and then because then we can go right into Half-Life 2. And I think it would be an interesting take for us because we would be probably playing console versions of it. Because if you're playing the PC versions, right, they have all
You can get
these
it off of
extra
Steam probably for
mods
cheap,
and
huh?
well, yeah, and I feel like the graphics are going to be better because you know you could be playing on a powerful PC now, whereas if you play on the original Xbox One or PlayStation 2, whatever the hell they even came out on, maybe I think maybe even Dreamcast had a port. I'm not too
No,
sure.
they were gonna release it
Um,
and never did.
I'd be interested to see like what our take would be on it because our take may be entirely different than people going, "No, Half-Life is one of the greatest games of all time." We're going, "Well, not what I played on. It was straight." But
So I
um,
think it's only on PS2 for consoles. I don't think it's on Xbox.
and it might be pricey
So
to get, so we don't
you
have
said
to.
you guys said we don't have it. So I went straight to Game Eye and I'm like, do I have it? I typed in half. That's all I typed in. I have something that has the word half in it, but it's not Half-Life.
Is it Portal? Like the mix thingy?
It's Harry Potter and the
Oh,
Half-Blood Prince.
oh, okay.
Not what I was looking for at all. But I do
Not
have
playing
that.
them.
Not playing that. Okay. Let's see how much it is here. The before we because I gotta be honest. I'm down to play it. I'm not down to I'm not down to certify its smacksness before I even play it though. And if it's like a lot of money, I gotta buy it.
This guy makes like six figures easy. He's worried about a
Yeah, but either
$40
way, it
game.
doesn't. And also, my PS2, thanks. It's the PS2 Slim you gave me. I have to flip it upside down to get it to work.
I gave you that?
Yep,
I don't remember that.
garbage, straight
Hmm.
butt. Let me see how
And it
much
probably
it
wasn't
is.
even his to give away. It was probably mine.
No,
I
they
don't
they
really
had
remember
got
anything.
it from.
I used to play the PS2 Slim on that TV we were talking about.
Okay, it's $52 on PS2, and then we also got to find somebody that has it and
Oh,
get it expedited,
I
get
know
it here
where it is.
quickly.
I've seen one in a store.
Oh, you're gonna say Taylor has
No, I
one.
think M&M Games has a
Oh.
couple, but he might charge you like $90.
Yeah, I mean, look, we don't have to do that. If someone else has another idea, come up with it quick because this video is getting kind of long.
I'm down. I'm down for
Oh,
Half-Life.
you
Uh,
probably can get it on Steam. I don't know if you have a Steam account. Brad does.
I can, but the whole point is we want to play it on console. I don't want to play it on PC because it's already legendary.
but your PC, Brad.
No, I'm not. I
All
don't think I have
right.
one game
Well,
installed on my computer. That's a
w-
lie.
w- at the end of this video, we're promising you we're gonna play Half-Life. You'll find out next week if we actually played Half-Life or if we switched to something else because we're cheap.
And I feel like that would be
Um,
an easy game to do conspiracy time because you would just
Yeah,
do it on the
yeah.
G-Man, right? So, and
I
Richard
don't
doesn't
even.
even know who the
I know
G-Man
See,
is.
he's in
nothing.
for
I
a
know
treat.
nothing
If he
about the
doesn't know
game.
who the G-Man is, yeah, he's in for a treat.
That's why this would be the perfect game because we're going to get an honest reaction on someone
Yep,
who's never played it. He doesn't even know what he's walking into.
yep. He has
He'd be
no
walking
idea.
into a big pile of dookie, you know. Is he
The
going to step in
G-Man,
it and
no
think it
clue.
stinks, or is he going to step in it and get a little taste?
Nobody steps in
Oh,
crap thinks it gets a taste. That doesn't make any
why would you get
sense.
a taste after you step? You have a mouth on your foot.
Well, no, you're
I'm then gonna
touching your
finger
shoe
my
and then
foot and
giving a
eat it. That's
little licky. Be like, oh,
disgusting.
what did I
Nobody's
step
done
in?
that in the history
That's
of man.
disgusting.
Really?
Not at all. All right, Jared, close
You've
this.
never made wine before and stepped in grapes.
You
Never.
just said stepped in poop and licked at your finger.
I did say
Yeah.
that.
Nobody
I
in the
Love
history of
Lucy though, that
mankind has done
episode
it.
where they make wine with their feet.
But that's what I
Yeah.
mean. Like you're stepping in crappy grapes as
All right, Brad,
well.
take us
Poopy
out.
grapes.
Iconic. No,
All right,
Jared, it's your turn.
anyways.
Take us out.
Take us out,
Oh,
Brad.
Jared's got to take us out.
Take us out,
Go
Brad.
ahead, Jared.
Go ahead, Brad.
Take us out, bro.
Richard, take us
What are
out.
we doing here? What a short
Take us out,
show.
Rich.
Jerry, go
I'm
ahead,
not
take us out.
doing it.
Brad, take us out.
Alrighty. If you like what you saw, I suggest hitting that like button. If you didn't like what you saw, let us know so we know what to improve on. Look forward to doing Half-Life next week. Leave some comments below. Let us know if you like the story about the old TV or just any of our takes. Should Ganon not be wearing long leather clothes surrounded by fire? We'll never know if you don't comment. So please do. But with that being said, we'll see you next week. Peace.